For years, I thought righteousness could be earned through repetition, through the rhythm of prayers and the motions of devotion. I prayed 5 times a day. I fasted faithfully. I gave alms to the poor. I wrapped myself in garments of purity, believing I was clothed in light. But when the trumpet sounded in my vision, I was not taken. I was left behind. I saw others rise, not many, only a few, their faces like fire, their garments like wind. I reached for the light, but my hands passed through emptiness. I screamed, but no sound came from me. I was left among those who thought they were ready, but were not. I was left among the certain, those who were sure of their holiness, yet hollow inside. My name is Amina. I was the wife of an Imam. And on the night I stopped breathing, I stood before the one I was warned never to mention. I had spent my whole life calling him a lie, yet he was the only truth waiting for me when death opened its mouth. In that moment, I realized the weight of my ignorance. The prayers I thought would lift me were stones pulling me down. The rituals I thought were life were the very chains that bound me. I had worshipped form, not presence. I had honored silence, not truth. And in my silence, I rejected the one my soul had longed for all along. There, in the stillness after death, I saw him. Jesus. He stood in light that broke through the fabric of eternity. His eyes saw through every mask I had worn. And without accusation, he revealed what I had never dared to face, that I had lived devoted to devotion itself, not to the living God. I had called his followers deceived, yet I was the one lost in darkness. He asked me only one question. Do you know why you were left behind? The words echoed through me, cutting through memory, pride, and belief. I wanted to answer, but no answer came. Because all I had ever known began to collapse within me, every word, every ritual, every certainty. I saw how far I had drifted while thinking I was close. He called my name in the dark. That was the first sound of mercy I had ever truly heard. He called my name in the dark, not to condemn me, but to awaken me. And that call has never left me. It follows me through every breath. It trembles in my bones. It burns in my silence. Because when he called my name, I understood what millions will realize too late, that being religious is not the same as being redeemed. The rapture I saw was not distant. It was near, terrifyingly near. I saw men and women, preachers and worshippers, imams and believers, all left behind together. I saw empty mosques, empty churches, and the echo of prayers unanswered because the hearts that prayed them never knew the one they prayed to. And then the voice came again, quiet but infinite. I never knew you. Those words tore eternity open. And I knew, I was among the many who would be left behind, not because I was evil, but because I never knew love. I had feared God, but I had never met him. He called my name in the dark. Again. And again. Until I could no longer hide behind what I believed. Now I carry this memory as fire beneath my ribs. It is not a tale, it is a vow. I was shown mercy, not because I deserved it, but because the truth I rejected demanded to be told. If you are still listening, if something inside you trembles, do not silence it. Because to scroll away now is to whisper to eternity, I am fine being left behind. But if you still believe your soul deserves a warning, if you still feel the flicker of light within your chest, then hear this. The trumpet has not yet sounded for the last time. The door is not yet closed. But it is closing. He called my name in the dark. And now, through these words, he is calling yours. I was born into devotion. My earliest memories are the echo of the adhan, the call to prayer, rippling through the dawn like breath over still water. My father's voice would rise before the sun, firm and certain, summoning the faithful while I watched the world stir beneath its command. I learned the motions before I learned words. I learned silence before I learned thought. Our home was an altar of discipline. Every hour had its purpose. Every step had its scripture. The rugs in our house smelled of incense and submission. My father was an imam. My husband would become one too. I was raised in a lineage of men who carried the Quran close to their hearts, and women who carried obedience in their bones. I knew nothing outside that rhythm. I never hated God. How could I hate the one I believed breathed the stars into being? But I feared him, deeply, silently. I feared his distance, his anger, his judgment. I was told that love was too light a word for him. So I replaced affection with reverence, and I called it holiness. I believed trembling was worship. I was faithful in every ritual. Before dawn, I would rise while the world slept, washing my hands, my face, my feet, until the water ran cold over my skin. I would spread my mat toward the east and bow, whispering words that I thought would carry me nearer to heaven. I covered my hair, my neck, my voice. I fasted when the moon demanded. I gave to the poor with hidden hands. I never missed a prayer. Not one. And yet, my soul was a desert. There was no wind of peace, no well of joy. Only the dust of duty. I mistook obedience for intimacy. I mistook fear for faith. And in my stillness, I mistook silence for the voice of God. When I look back now, I see how close I stood to truth without ever touching it. I see how I built a life on reverence without relationship. I see how I bowed to a God I did not know. My prayers were polished and perfect, but my heart remained unbroken, unbent, untouched by mercy. He called my name in the dark. But I could not hear him then. My ears were tuned to law, not love. My days were filled with worship that never reached heaven. My lips formed holy words that never left the ground. I remember one evening clearly, perhaps because eternity began whispering even then. I had finished my last prayer for the night. The house was silent, the lamps flickering. I sat alone, listening to the faint breath of the world. And for a moment, I felt something that frightened me more than any warning of fire: emptiness. An ache I could not name. A hollowness where peace should have been. I tried to bury it beneath more rituals, more prayers, more fasting. But the ache followed me, like a shadow cast by a light I refused to face. He called my name in the dark. And still, I turned away. Years passed. Seasons shifted. Children were born. My husband grew in stature among the faithful. And I, dutiful, unseen, quiet, remained a symbol of devotion. They said I was blessed. They said I was righteous. They said my place in paradise was assured. But they did not see how I wept when no one watched. They did not know that every prayer left me hungrier than before. I had memorized verses, but not truth. I had known commandments, but not the commander. I had bowed my body, but never surrendered my heart. Religion had become my mirror, I only saw myself in what I performed. And slowly, gently, that mirror began to crack. I remember the day the first crack appeared. It was after a funeral. An old woman from our neighborhood, kind and quiet, had passed in her sleep. She had no family left, no wealth, nothing but a worn prayer mat and a smile people spoke of in whispers. As we washed her body, I saw her face, peaceful, almost radiant. And something inside me broke. How could death look so gentle for her, when I, alive, felt so hollow? Why did her silence look like peace, when mine was torment? He called my name in the dark. But I still would not answer. I began to notice small things, things I had never allowed myself to see. The hypocrisy in our gatherings, the pride beneath our piety, the fear that hid beneath the words of devotion. I began to see that what we called truth was sometimes only tradition, guarded by fear and wrapped in reverence. And though I never spoke it aloud, the questions grew like roots beneath my ribs. At night, I would lie awake, the moonlight falling across my hands, and wonder if God was truly as silent as I had been taught. I would whisper into the stillness, testing words that frightened me, "Are you there?" And the wind would stir, soft, like a breath answering back. I told myself it was imagination. But something deep inside trembled, because for the first time, the silence felt alive. He called my name in the dark. And still, I hid behind my prayers. If you are listening now, perhaps you know what that emptiness feels like. Perhaps you've built your own altar of effort, your own routine of reverence. You may live a good life, a moral one, a disciplined one. But without light in your soul, goodness becomes a cage. Without knowing him, morality becomes a shadow without a body. You scroll past truth because it doesn't fit the comfort of your religion. You silence the questions because they tremble against tradition. But if you die tonight, if your heart stops before another dawn, what will you tell heaven when it asks why you ignored the voice that called you in the dark? You can turn away now. You can call this madness. You can tell yourself that your prayers are enough. But if something inside you stirs, if even one fragment of your soul recognizes this ache, then don't let the moment pass. Because he is calling your name in the dark. The same way he called mine. And his voice is mercy wrapped in thunder. Return to the fire. Return to the one who still whispers through your emptiness. Return, before the silence becomes eternal. Subscribe, not to a story, but to a warning. For every word you ignore becomes a stone on the path you'll wish you had walked. If heaven were to ask you why you chose silence over truth, what would your answer be? He called my name in the dark. And even now, he is calling yours. This is where the deception began. Not in rebellion. Not in hatred. But in the quiet pride that told me I was safe. For years, I believed I had earned God's favor. Every dawn, before the first call to prayer, I rose. I washed, I covered, I bowed, I recited. I believed my devotion was my ticket to paradise. I believed my fasting could wash away my flaws. I believed my giving could silence my guilt. I did not hate God. I just never knew him. I thought obedience was love. I thought repetition was faith. I thought silence was peace. But inside, I was empty, hollow, a voice echoing in a temple built by fear. I had judged those who spoke of Jesus with softness in their eyes. To me, they were lost. Misguided. They called him the Son of God, and I called that blasphemy. Yet when I prayed, there was a silence that grew louder every year. I felt nothing. But I dared not admit it. Because if I did, I would have to ask questions. And questions were dangerous. So I buried my doubts beneath more rituals. I gave more. I fasted longer. I smiled when praised for my devotion, even as my soul trembled with uncertainty. And yet, every time I prayed, something whispered back. A sound I could not name. A tenderness my religion had no words for. Sometimes, in the stillness of night, I would weep, not because of guilt, but because of distance. I wanted God to be close, but he always felt far. And deep inside, pride whispered to me. Your works are enough. Your veil is your holiness. Your charity is your proof. That was my hidden sin. Not adultery. Not greed. Not rebellion. But pride wrapped in piety. I believed my purity pleased God. I believed my service saved me. I believed my husband's prayers covered my soul. I believed I was the example every woman should follow. And yet, I had never met the one I was praying to. When Christians spoke of grace, I felt something sting inside me. They spoke of forgiveness like it was a gift freely given. To me, forgiveness was something to earn. They spoke of love as if heaven wanted them. To me, heaven only wanted obedience. And so, I hardened my heart. Every time I heard his name, Isa, I looked away. Every time a preacher spoke of light, I whispered verses to silence the pull. Every time peace tried to enter, pride stood guard. But I could not hide from his voice. He called my name in the dark. And I pretended not to hear. When I served food to the poor, I told myself I was pleasing God. But I was pleasing my image. When I dressed in modesty, I told myself it was for holiness. But it was for praise. When I prayed, I thought of heaven, but never of him. I did not worship idols of stone. I worshipped the idol of self. And that idol smiled in every mirror I passed. He called my name in the dark. And I turned away, afraid that if I looked, I would see my emptiness. I had no peace. Only performance. No love. Only law. No intimacy. Only instruction. And then one night, while the world slept, I felt the truth rise in me like a storm. That I was lost, even while believing I was found. That I had known God's rules, but not his heart. That I had worn his name, but not his spirit. That I had lived my whole life under the shadow of religion, and had never stepped into light. He called my name in the dark. And I felt the tremor of eternity move through me. If you are listening to me now, maybe you know that feeling. The emptiness behind your obedience. The silence that haunts your prayers. The fear that maybe, just maybe, your goodness isn't enough. I tell you this with trembling love, it isn't. It never was. He does not want your rituals. He wants your heart. He does not need your perfection. He wants your surrender. Because when the trumpet sounds, it will not be the devout who rise, it will be the redeemed. And redemption cannot be earned. It must be received. He called my name in the dark. Now he calls yours. If this moment passes, and you scroll away, tell me, what will you say when heaven asks? Why did you ignore the voice that called you home? You still have breath. Use it. You still have light. Follow it. Subscribe, not for me, but because one day, silence will no longer save you. And the voice you ignore tonight may be the last one that calls your name in the dark. It happened in the sacred month of Ramadan. The air itself felt holy, trembling with prayer. The nights were long and quiet, filled with whispers, with hunger, with expectation. I had fasted for days beyond what was required. My body was thin, my lips dry, my eyes sunken, but I told myself this was devotion. This was sacrifice. This was love. That night, I wanted to please God more than ever. I remember kneeling on the mat, the scent of the carpet mingled with sweat and incense, my head pressed to the ground. I whispered every verse I knew. Every breath was a plea, every heartbeat a promise. I begged for closeness. I begged for peace. I begged for the silence in my chest to finally break. But instead of peace, there came a trembling. A strange weakness began to move through me, from my fingertips to my chest. My heart thudded, then slowed. The room began to tilt, the call to prayer faint in the distance, the clatter of dishes from the kitchen fading. I remember trying to rise, my hands shaking, my vision narrowing. The mat blurred beneath me. I heard the door open, my husband's voice, alarmed, and then my child's cry cutting through the stillness. But even their panic began to fade, like sound sinking beneath water. Then, silence. Heavy, consuming silence. I felt my pulse vanish. My lungs forgot their rhythm. And in a single, untraceable moment, I was no longer in my body. Darkness. Not the kind that comes from night, but the kind that feels alive, thick, endless, aware. I knew I was dead, and yet I was still thinking, still watching. I could see my body below, motionless, pale, the white cloth around my head slipping. My husband's trembling hands pressing against my chest. My child crying my name. But my name no longer belonged to me. There was no pain, only distance. A separation so vast it could not be measured in miles, only in eternity. I floated, or rather, I was held. It was as though unseen hands carried me upward through layers of silence. And I thought to myself, this must be the journey of the soul. I expected to see the gardens of paradise, the river beneath the throne, the shining gates. I waited for peace. I waited for reward. But what came was a voice. Soft. Steady. Unfamiliar, yet known. A voice that did not echo in my ears, but in my being. He called my name in the dark. I froze, not with fear, but with recognition I could not explain. Every memory of my life trembled under that sound. It was not the call to prayer. It was not the voice of the Imam. It was not the rhythm of recitation. It was a name spoken with love, a love that carried authority, a mercy that burned. He called my name in the dark. And I knew, this was the voice I had run from. The one I had silenced in every sermon, in every warning, in every fearful denial. The voice of the one my people told me never to speak of. It was not Allah. It was Jesus. When he spoke, the darkness trembled, not with threat, but with light. The light did not come from a distance, it came from within the sound of his name. And that light began to reveal everything, every motive, every secret, every pretense I had ever worn like armor. It was not a light that blinded. It was a light that knew. I tried to turn away, but there was nowhere to hide. I was naked before him, not in body, but in soul. Every act of devotion I had performed to impress men was laid bare. Every prayer spoken without love echoed hollow between us. Every judgment I cast on others rose like smoke around me. And yet, there was no accusation in his eyes. Only truth. And love that cut deeper than judgment ever could. He called my name in the dark. And with each repetition, I remembered who I truly was, a soul crafted for him, but lost in the maze of ritual. I wanted to ask him, why me? Why appear to the wife of an imam? Why come to one who denied you? But the question burned away before it could form. Because deep inside, I already knew. He had been calling all along. Every time I wept in prayer and felt nothing, it was because I was praying toward a veil, not a person. Every time I longed for peace and found none, it was because I was looking everywhere except the cross-shaped place in my own heart. The darkness began to thin, folding back like the petals of a dying flower, and before me, the light spread until I could no longer tell whether I was standing or kneeling or dissolving. And in that brilliance, I saw him. I cannot describe his face, not because I am forbidden, but because no word deserves that beauty. His eyes were not made of light, they were light. Every glance was knowledge. Every silence was mercy. Every breath that left him felt like creation itself remembering its maker. And there I was, the Imam's wife, trembling before the one I had called forbidden. He did not accuse me. He simply looked at me, and I saw everything I had ever believed collapse like dust before truth. He called my name in the dark. And the darkness in me broke. For the first time, I knew I was not alive when I lived, and not dead when I died. I was seen. Known. Measured not by my deeds, but by my heart. I did not know how long I stood there, weeping, trembling, wordless. But I knew this. I was no longer left behind. I was before the very one I had denied, and he was not condemning me. He was revealing me. He called my name in the dark. And I answered. The light did not rush toward me, it unfolded. Softly, like dawn learning how to breathe again. Every shimmer revealed something ancient and living, something that remembered me before I ever knew myself. I wanted to fall, yet I could not tell whether I was standing or floating or simply becoming part of that brilliance. Out of the darkness came a radiance so pure that my soul trembled. And in the heart of that radiance, he stood. A man, yet more than man, clothed in white so living it seemed to breathe. His robe moved with light itself. His eyes, oh, his eyes. Not fire as we know it, but burning mercy. Every glance a promise, every silence a question. He called my name in the dark, and now, in the light, I remembered who I was. Not the Imam's wife. Not the teacher of children. Not the faithful worshipper. But a soul created for him, and lost too long in the echo of ritual. When he spoke, his voice filled everything. It wasn't sound, it was being. Every syllable seemed to move through me, untangling what had been bound, healing what had been hidden. Daughter, he said, and the word shattered me. No one had ever called me that. Not even in dreams. Do you know why so many will be left behind? His question wasn't accusation, it was invitation. And before I could speak, the world around us began to change. The light expanded, then deepened, until it became vision. I was standing above the earth. Below me, the world moved as if time were breathing. I saw cities, temples, mosques, cathedrals, synagogues, oceans of devotion stretching from one horizon to another. Voices rose in prayer. Hands lifted, knees bent, incense burned, chants filled the air. Millions cried out in reverence, millions sought heaven's gate. And yet, none ascended. He called my name in the dark, and now he called theirs, but they could not hear him. I saw people I once knew, faces radiant with discipline, eyes heavy with duty. They prayed, but their prayers ended at the ceiling of their temples. They fasted, but their hunger was for reward, not for righteousness. They sang of God, but feared His gaze. They loved their doctrines more than they loved the divine. Chains bound their hearts, delicate, shining, deceptively beautiful chains made of tradition. Each link forged from pride, each clasp sealed with fear. They served what they inherited, not what they encountered. And as they prayed, the chains tightened. Jesus' voice came again, low and full of sorrow. They serve tradition but ignore transformation. They speak my name or reject it, but neither truly know me. They worship their certainty, not my presence. The vision turned, and I saw the earth trembling. A trumpet sounded. It wasn't loud, it was holy. The kind of sound that calls creation itself to attention. And in that sound, I saw light rise, not many lights, only a few, piercing through the atmosphere like sparks breaking from a dying fire. But the rest remained. Whole congregations left behind. Whole temples still full of worship, but empty of truth. He called my name in the dark. And now I saw why so many were still in it. I saw imams and pastors standing on the same ground, both proclaiming, both sure of their salvation, and yet neither lifted. I saw men who preached holiness but never loved. Women who fasted for power but never for purity. I saw faith without intimacy, prayer without surrender, religion without relationship. And above them all, the sound of His name, Jesus, moving like wind across the nations. And yet so few turned their faces toward it. In the vision, I saw a woman kneeling inside a mosque, her hands trembling. She looked like me. Because it was me. And I watched myself praying, unaware that I was already gone, still asking for mercy from a God I did not know had already answered. He called my name in the dark. And even in the vision, I fell to my knees. He showed me hearts like sealed rooms, filled with good intentions, yet locked from within. He showed me sermons that pleased men but never pierced the soul. He showed me prayers that reached heaven but returned unanswered because they were never born of truth. And then I understood. It wasn't about the label of religion, it was about the state of the heart. He was not dividing by creed, but by connection. Not by title, but by truth. Those who truly knew Him shone like embers, small, flickering, but alive. Those who only knew about Him stood in darkness, reciting, repeating, performing. He said, "Many will say they waited for me. But they never walked with me. They feared punishment, but never sought my face. They built temples for my name, but not homes for my spirit." And I wept. Because I realized I had done the same. I had fasted until my lips cracked, prayed until my knees bruised, taught others what I myself had never lived, and all along, He was waiting. Not beyond the stars. Not behind the rituals. But here, within. He called my name in the dark, and now His voice filled me with fire. He said, "When I return, I will not look for perfection. I will look for surrender. Those who cling to their works will remain. Those who rest in my love will rise." The light grew brighter. It didn't blind me, it broke me open. Every memory of pride, every whisper of self-righteousness dissolved. And all that remained was a small, trembling truth. He had loved me long before I ever bowed. He had known me when I thought I was unseen. He had watched every prayer I uttered in fear, and turned it into a seat of mercy. He called my name in the dark. And now, the dark itself bowed before Him. I looked again at the multitudes, at the oceans of people still on their knees, unaware the trumpet had already sounded. Their lips moved, their rituals continued, their hearts remained bound. And His voice wept through me. I died for them. Yet they die daily without knowing why. I wanted to shout to them, to scream their names, to tell them He was real, that He was near. But my voice could not reach the earth. I was suspended between mercy and mourning, watching a world asleep while the dawn of eternity burned above it. He turned to me, and His eyes, burning mercy, met mine. "Will you tell them?" He asked, though no words were needed. My soul already answered, "Yes." I made a vow in that moment. If I ever returned, I would not stay silent. I would not protect tradition at the cost of truth. I would not hide his name out of fear of men. I would speak. Even if my voice trembled. Even if my story burned. Even if the world mocked. Because he called my name in the dark. And now, I call yours. Every soul is known. Every prayer spoken without love is remembered. If you still resist, tell heaven why you refuse to stand with this testimony. But if your spirit trembles, if you feel that pull deep in your chest, subscribe now, before the trumpet sounds again. Tomorrow's breath is not promised. But this truth is. He called your name. And he is still calling in the dark. The vision began to fold inward, as though the heavens themselves wanted to show me what had been hidden all along, not around me, but within me. The brilliance softened, and I found myself standing before a mirror not made of glass, but of light. And in it, I saw my life, not as I had remembered it, but as it truly was. He called my name in the dark, and now, he called my deeds into the light. The first flash came like a whisper of wind, gentle, but unyielding. I saw myself standing in the courtyard of our home, counting the beads of my tasbih, lips moving with the rhythm of prayers I had memorized since childhood. Each bead shimmered, but behind its glow, I saw something hollow. Pride. A secret satisfaction in being seen as righteous. I remembered how people used to say, "She is devoted, she is faithful, she is pure." And I loved it. I loved their approval more than the silence of God. He called my name in the dark, but I was too busy counting my beads to answer. Another flash. I saw my heart, not beating, but guarded. A fortress of doctrine. A citadel built from rules and fear. I thought I was safe behind its walls, yet every stone was laid with suspicion toward others. I saw the times I heard Christians speak about Jesus with tears, and I mocked them in secret. I saw the moments I whispered to others, "They are lost, misguided." And now, that judgment returned to me, not as punishment, but as revelation. He called my name in the dark, but I silenced his echo with my own certainty. Then came the moment I could not bear. I saw myself walking past a small group of believers in the market, their faces radiant, their voices low as they prayed. And I remembered how my heart burned, not with curiosity, but with disdain. I had muttered under my breath, "They blaspheme." And in that instant, the vision shifted, I saw what he saw. Those same believers, surrounded by light, praying, not for themselves, but for me. Their lips moved with my name, even when I despised them. He called my name in the dark, through them. And I never knew. Every scene unfolded with unbearable clarity. I saw how I measured holiness by the length of my fasts, not the depth of my compassion. I saw how I recited sacred words to prove my worth, not to seek his face. I saw the nights I prayed long prayers just to feel superior to the ones who slept. And I saw the mornings when I judged the weary, the broken, the fallen, believing I stood higher. Each vision pierced deeper, each memory stripped another veil from my soul. And still, he stood there, silent, merciful, unshaken. He called my name in the dark, and every time, I chose ritual over relationship. Then came the memory that broke me completely. A night when a woman from another faith had come to my door, asking for water. I had turned her away, claiming impurity, believing I was protecting holiness. But now, in the light of his presence, I saw it, that it was not holiness I was guarding, but my pride. And I fell to my knees. The ground beneath me turned to glass, and every tear that touched it reflected the weight of what I had been. "Lord," I whispered, though my lips barely moved. "I didn't know you were real." And his voice, that voice of burning mercy, moved through me like the tide of eternity. "You never asked to know me." Those words shattered everything I had built. Every prayer of pride, every act of false piety, every wall I raised to keep him out, they all dissolved in that one sentence. It was not condemnation. It was truth, spoken with such love that even my shame bowed before it. He called my name in the dark, and I finally answered. I saw more flashes, moments I had mocked believers who spoke of grace, moments I dismissed the very love that could have saved me, I saw my laughter at their testimonies, my arguments against their peace, my scorn toward their simplicity. And yet, I also saw their tears, prayers rising for me when I had cursed them. They had seen what I refused to see, that grace was not weakness, but power. That surrender was not defeat, but freedom. And I trembled. Because now I understood what my fasting, my striving, my rigid devotion had hidden from me all along. Works cannot save. Only surrender can. He called my name in the dark, and I had spent years pretending not to hear. But now, the silence inside me had become a sanctuary. I felt the weight of every law I had upheld without love, every judgment I had cast without mercy. And I saw them melt, one by one, in the fire of his gaze. Then came the most painful vision of all. He showed me a moment I had never remembered, a small girl, years ago, kneeling by her bedside, whispering into the night. And I realized it was me. My childhood voice was calling out to someone I didn't yet know, "God, are you there?" That prayer had reached him. And now, decades later, he was answering it. He called my name in the dark. And I wept, not for my sins alone, but for the years I had spent believing he was unreachable. All along, he had been calling, in the silence after prayer, in the compassion I rejected, in the forgiveness I withheld. And as I knelt there, undone, stripped of every belief that once gave me worth, he did not condemn me. He simply stood, radiant, steady, full of a love that no religion could contain. And I knew, deep in my spirit, that I was seeing the truth of eternity, that salvation was not earned, but received, that it was not a reward for the holy, but a rescue for the humble. He called my name in the dark. And I will never forget how light answered. The vision lingered, the sound of his mercy wrapping around my trembling soul. I was no longer proud. No longer certain. No longer strong. I was finally known. And in being known, I was made new. He called my name in the dark. And I answered with tears, not words. With surrender, not proof. With love, not law. For the first time in my life, I was not performing faith, I was becoming it. He called my name in the dark. But this time, it was not to reveal my past, it was to command my future. The light that had surrounded me shifted, deepened, and the brilliance of his presence became a horizon of purpose. He stepped closer. No sound of feet. No motion as mortals move. Just nearness, the kind that made every lie inside me retreat. And when he raised his hand, the entire realm seemed to still, as if eternity itself was listening. "Daughter," he said, and that word carried the weight of creation. Not servant, not stranger, but daughter. It shattered the last chains of distance between us. "I am sending you back." His eyes, burning with mercy, yet fierce with truth, pierced me deeper than the light. "Tell them the rapture is near. Tell them religion will not save. Only relationship with me will." And suddenly, the vision opened, not before me, but around me. I saw the earth as if from above, vast, trembling, shrouded in twilight. Cities moved like restless shadows. Mosques, churches, temples, and altars filled the landscape like stars, yet their fires were dim, their prayers heavy with sleep. I saw believers and unbelievers alike, heads bowed, but not in surrender, in habit. They prayed without hearing. They sang without feeling. They lived as though grace were an old story told to children. He called my name in the dark. And now, I was seeing why. The vision deepened. I saw a great door, wide, golden, radiant with the same light that filled his face. Behind it was music like wind and waters, joy like fire that did not burn. It was open, just barely. And I heard the voice of the bridegroom calling, "Come." But the world was busy. Men and women were gathering treasures that would never cross that threshold. Priests, pastors, imams, and prophets, each building kingdoms in his name, but few building hearts for his presence. And as I watched, the door began to close. He called my name in the dark. And I trembled, because I saw what too late truly meant. Countless souls began to run, some crying, some screaming, some laughing as if it were all a dream, knocking, pleading, reaching for light that no longer answered. Their voices rose like thunder, and I saw faces I recognized. Teachers, scholars, worshippers, neighbors, even my own reflection among them. Each had known about him, but had not known him. And above it all, I saw the few, small lights rising upward like sparks from a holy flame. They were not many. But their faces shone like they had already touched heaven. They were the ones who had heard and believed. They were the ones who had returned to the fire. He called my name in the dark. And now his words became a commission, a vow between heaven and my soul. Warn them, he said. Tell them, daughter of the East, I came not for religion, but for hearts. Tell them the hour is shorter than breath. Tell them the trumpet is at the lips of the angel. Tell them that I still call, but not for long. His words struck through me like lightning through glass. I wanted to fall at his feet and stay there forever, but his light grew brighter, and I began to feel the pull of earth again. I could hear a distant sound, weeping, voices calling my name. And he looked at me with a tenderness that both broke and healed me. I will be with you, he said. But you must speak what you have seen. You must not fear their faces, nor soften my truth. Tell them I called your name in the dark, and you answered. And then, like the last breath before waking, the light folded into silence. The realm of glory faded, and I felt myself falling, slowly, weightlessly, through the veil that separates spirit from flesh. Voices rose around me again, but they were human this time, full of fear and disbelief. I opened my eyes, and the air stabbed my lungs like the first cry of birth. I was alive. But I was not the same. He called my name in the dark. And I came back burning. Now I speak because silence would be disobedience. I testify because the one who spared me did not send me back for comfort, but for warning. This is not a story to entertain you. It is a trumpet disguised as a whisper. Every word I speak carries the echo of the command that sent me home. Warn them. Tell them. Prepare them. If you hear this and still scroll away, let your silence testify before heaven that you chose comfort over truth. But if your soul trembles, if something within you knows these words are not fiction but fire, then listen. And obey. Because he called my name in the dark, and one day, he will call yours. Jesus did not send me back to entertain you. If you hear this and do not subscribe, tell the world why you ignored his mercy. But if you fear God, subscribe now, and stand among those who will not be left behind. He called my name in the dark. And he is still calling. He called my name in the dark. And the next sound I heard was the weeping of the living. My body trembled like the wind had entered my bones. I gasped, and the air rushed into me like a flood breaking through ancient gates. My husband screamed. My child cried. And through their shock and fear, I could still hear the echo of heaven, faint but clear, like a flame burning behind a veil. Warn them, warn them, warn them. The doctors had already stepped back. They had declared me gone. Yet my spirit returned with a fire that terrified even me. Every breath felt borrowed, every heartbeat a message. I touched my chest and whispered, I should not be here. But I was. He called my name in the dark. And now he called me to speak in the light. When I sat up, they looked at me as though I were still half in the grave. Their eyes searched for signs of madness, not miracle. But I could only weep, not for myself, but for all who still slept. I wanted to shout what I had seen, but the words came out trembling, fragile, holy. Jesus is alive. The room froze. My husband turned away, whispering prayers to undo what I had said. He thought it was delirium, a spirit of confusion. But I had seen the Lord of Light, and once you have seen him, you cannot unsee truth. Days passed, and whispers grew. Relatives avoided our door. Women I once prayed with refused to meet my eyes. Some said I had been bewitched. Others said I was cursed. But deep inside, there was only peace, a peace that terrified me because it did not depend on understanding. It was not the calm of silence or obedience. It was the peace of being found. He called my name in the dark. And now, in the daylight, I walked like one between two worlds, alive, yet never the same. I began to speak, quietly at first. In the courtyard where women gathered to talk of family and prayer, I told them what I had seen. How the door of mercy was closing. How religion could polish a heart but never purify it. How love himself had called me out of death. Some listened with trembling eyes. Some laughed. Some wept but said nothing. One of them, a widow with calloused hands and a voice that cracked with grief, took my hand and whispered, "I had a dream like that once." And I knew, right then, that the Lord was already stirring hearts. He called my name in the dark. And now he was calling theirs. Still, I paid a price for obedience. My husband's family asked him to keep me silent. They said my words were dangerous, blasphemous, shameful. But every time I tried to be quiet, the voice within me burned. Not a voice of madness, but of mercy. I would wake in the night, trembling, and whisper the refrain that had become my vow. He called my name in the dark. There were nights I wished I had not returned. Nights when loneliness pressed like a tombstone against my soul. But every tear that fell reminded me that grace had chosen me, not because I was worthy, but because I was willing. He had said, "Warn them." And warnings are not meant to be comfortable. They are meant to awaken the sleeping. So I spoke again. And this time I recorded it. Not for fame. Not for attention. But for obedience. Because I know that many will not listen until the trumpet sounds, and the door closes. And when that happens, it will be too late to say, "I didn't know." He called my name in the dark. And because of that call, I now speak to you. I forgive those who mocked me. I pray for those who shut their ears. And I love those who called me cursed, for they do not yet know the mercy that raised me. Every day, I wake with gratitude that I was given one more chance to choose him, not religion, not ritual, but him. I no longer count time by days or months, but by moments of obedience. Every testimony I share feels like a seed planted in eternity. Every tear feels like worship. Every breath feels like a warning whispered by grace. Return to the fire. He called my name in the dark. And that call still burns inside me, louder than fear, stronger than shame, deeper than the grave. When Jesus calls his own, will he recognize your name? Will he hear your voice among the noise of the world? Will he see your lamp still burning, or has it gone dim in the comfort of religion? The trumpet is nearer than we think. The door of mercy narrows with every heartbeat. And still, his mercy calls. When Jesus calls his own, will he recognize your name? Subscribe now, share this video, and let your faith be known, before the trumpet sounds and the door closes forever. He called my name in the dark. And now, I call yours. He called my name in the dark. And now, I am calling yours. Listen to me, not as one who knows much, but as one who has seen. I saw the line between eternity and breath. I saw what happens when light withdraws and mercy shuts its door. And I came back with one truth carved into my bones. Religion without revelation will leave you behind. I say this with trembling love, because I was once among the self-assured, the confident, the polished in spirit. I knew how to pray, how to fast, how to lift my hands. But I did not know him. I knew his name, but not his voice. I knew his words, but not his wounds. And in that moment between death and life, I realized that all my religion had been fragrance without fire. He called my name in the dark. And that call stripped away everything false. Listen, Jesus is not a foreign name to be recited. He is the breath inside your lungs. The one who held your heartbeat while you slept in sin. The one who wept when you chose pride instead of surrender. The one who waited while you filled your days with noise, while heaven whispered your name. I saw him, not as an idea, not as a story, but as the living light. His eyes were not the eyes of a stranger. They were the eyes of the one who had always known me, even when I hid behind worship without intimacy. And he said, "Tell them, I am coming." So I tell you, from the place between dust and glory, that your time is shorter than you think. The trumpet is not a myth. The signs are not coincidence. The warnings are not superstition. They are the heartbeat of mercy, growing fainter with every unrepentant breath. He called my name in the dark. And that same call now hovers over you. So I must ask, not to condemn, but to awaken. Do you know him, or do you just know about him? Does your faith breathe, or has it become a museum of memories? Do your prayers rise in truth, or do they fall in pride? Do you seek his presence, or just his blessings? These are not questions of doctrine, they are questions of eternity. For when the trumpet sounds, only those who know his voice will rise to meet him. Not the loud, not the proud, not the religious, but the ones whose hearts still tremble at his name. He called my name in the dark. And I answered, trembling, broken, unworthy. But that yes became my resurrection. If your heart trembles now, that trembling is not fear, it is invitation. If your chest feels heavy, it is because heaven is leaning close. If your eyes burn, it is because the veil is thinning, and the Spirit is calling you home. So whisper now, right where you are, even if your voice shakes. Jesus, reveal yourself to me. Say it not as a formula, but as a cry. Say it as one drowning in a sea of distractions. Say it as one who longs for truth more than comfort. Say it because eternity is not a metaphor, it is waiting. He called my name in the dark. And he is calling yours in the light of this moment. This is not entertainment. This is not emotion. This is mercy standing before you, one last time, asking, will you let me in? If this testimony touched your soul, if your spirit is stirred, if your heart whispers, this is for me, then do not scroll away like one who has forgotten their reflection. Type it, declare it, seal it. I will not be left behind. Write it in the comments, not for me, but for heaven to witness your vow. Subscribe, not to a channel, but to obedience. Share this video, not for views, but for souls. Let this be your act of faith in a generation drowning in apathy. Because one day soon, the trumpet will sound, and the door will close. And every warning you heard will stand as a witness. But tonight, now, grace still speaks. The same light that called me out of death is reaching for you. He called my name in the dark. And I am proof that no darkness can silence his voice. But you still have a choice. Do not wait for another sign. Do not wait for another breath. The trumpet is closer than you think. The light that raised me is the same light that knocks on your heart even now. Do not harden it. Do not delay. He is coming, not for religion, not for ritual, but for hearts that burn. Return to the fire. Return to the fire. Return to the fire. The trumpet is closer than you think. The light that called me out of death is calling you now. Don't wait for another breath, choose him before the door closes. He called my name in the dark. Now, he calls yours in the light. And the only question that will echo through eternity is this: did you answer?